A lot of people would say, what wrong has President Mahama done? But he has the responsibility of the first gentleman of this country to be fair, to protect rule of law, and to abide by our values of democracy. It is very, very important that we look at this matter objectively. There are three arms of government: the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. It is very important that all of them maintain their independence and one does not attempt to usurp the other. So if consistently over the past 4 years, even on this platform, other NDC communicators I meet here consistently lambast the judiciary, lambast the Chief Justice, and sort of lay the framework that they are going to deal with her when they come. And you come and petitions that some of them had already been looked at by the former president and dismissed as frivolous. Again, something that should be only used to sell in Katie. And you follow that and you say that you are exercising your authority as president, going by the constitution to remove the Chief Justice. It is very clear that that exercise of discretion is prejudicial. And so you cannot look at the constitution in one way. I'm sure the framers of the constitution were very much aware of that. That is why they came up with Article 296. That when you are exercising your discretionary power, you should be fair and candid. And you should not exercise that power in an arbitrary, capricious, and biased manner, which is what is clear to most fair-minded Ghanaians that that's what is going on. Because these petitions themselves have very little merit. Some of them are very flimsy. Some of the petitioners even go on as to say they are not even going to provide evidence to back their claims.
Hey, and you have all those details?
Yes, I mean, I've read the petitions. I knew I was coming here, so I read all three of them very well.
You read the petitions?
Yes.
How?
It's here.
Where? It's where?
Don't you know the petitions have been...
I don't know.
No, most of the NDC communicator started. Even some media people posted some parts of the petition on his social media.
Some parts of what?
That was after you people were quoting copiously from a petition.
So should I find the link for
parts of the petition?
Yes.
Where did he get it from? Where did you
get
it from?
How would I know where he got it from?
So
how would I?
Did you get it from his work?
I cannot disclose that to you. I cannot disclose my source.
Where did he get it?
So let me continue. A lot of the contents of these petitions. I'm surprised that you are behaving like you haven't seen that they are circulating it. So how are the NDC communicators speaking to the petition? How are they talking?
You
no,
say
a lot of them are speaking to it. So about travel policy and whatnot. How are they speaking to it? They started going on trying to denigrate and muddy the waters.
Started where?
And my point is, you are saying you haven't heard NDC communicators speaking to the contents of the petition. I will send you videos of that. And I've told you for a fact that their former, I think he's still the communications officer, even posted some parts of the petition on his Twitter and Facebook walls. So it's not news that people have the petitions.
Do you know where he got it from?
How would I know?
Certainly
the point of the matter is, again, when the NDC, people were in the PNDC era, judges were killed. When the same children of that group come, and it looks like there's a deliberate and targeted attempt to usurp the judiciary, it is something that as fair-minded citizens of the country, believers in democracy and believers in the rule of law, we have to demonstrate our disdain and absolute disgust with what is going on. It is a deliberate attempt to instill fear in the judiciary, because you can imagine if you are a magistrate or you are like even a high court judge and you see that even the Chief Justice has been removed over these frivolous petitions, you will be scared. If you get a call from, I don't want to say Shamima, but you get a call from the presidency that this land case behaved like that, there are going to be problems. And these are the implications. These are the things that we are seeing looking ahead that we cannot in good conscience watch continue.
Okay.
And so all well-meaning Ghanaians today, I'm sure the protest has already started. It started at the Supreme Court. They are moving on to Parliament to deliver a petition, and then it will end in Jubilee House to deliver the last petition. And that's been said by a lot of National Party officers of the MPP. We will not end there. We will do everything in our power within the confines of the law to ensure that this injustice does not continue.
Okay. Shamima.
What I'm so happy about is that this country has turned a new leaf of true democracy. where freedom of expression is assured for all manner of persons, irrespective of who you are and which political group you belong to. I'm very happy that the New Patriotic Party has accepted the invitation of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, that under his leadership, all Ghanaians must feel free to speak out without fear or favor, and that people should be assured of their right to express themselves. And what happened afterwards? Right? So I'm very happy that they themselves have had the cause to believe that when John Dramani Mahama says that your freedom of speech is assured and your freedom after speech is assured, I am happy they believe His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, which is why they are going on this needless demonstration. But they have a right to go on that demonstration. I am happy that the young group of people who said they were going to go on demonstration for Galamsey were not prevented their right to demonstration, unlike in a not so distant past, when young people, youth of Ghana, who were going through a lot of frustrations, pain, hardship, unemployment, decided to march on the streets to protest for the protection of our environment, were rounded up and kept in custody for weeks. The trauma that these young people went through, which cases have since been discontinued against them by the real, true Democrat, John Dramani Mahama. So I'm not going to say much because a lot have been said about this matter. To the extent that John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, has not declared, channeled to them as by law dictated through the presidency to the Council of State, who made a determination that there was a case to be answered by the Chief Justice, which even before the matter went to the Council of Elders, the Chief Justice requested to receive copies of the petition, which request was granted the Chief Justice and given even 10 days to take a look and respond, a courtesy that was roundly denied Charlotte Osei, who was head also of a constitutionally established body, the Electoral Commission. It would seem as if the New Patriotic Party, both in power and in opposition, believe themselves to always be above the law. But to the extent that we have a real Democrat as a president, this atmosphere of freedom will touch every Ghanaian, even those who choose to use that freedom irresponsibly. The president has not acted in a capricious manner. The president has not acted out of malice. The president has not acted without justice and candor against the person of the Chief Justice. The president has set up a committee, which committee includes 2 justices of our courts, to look into the merits of the petition and to grant the Chief Justice her right as a citizen to make her case and defend herself against the allegations made against her by those petitioners. If anyone, by any stretch of any imagination, is fair-minded, they can't come to a conclusion that this singular action, and I take inspiration from the likes of Professor Ekua Amoako, a learned Ghanaian who has been consistent in his protection of our institutions. He's the first person who also made a petition against the Chief Justice. He is not an Nkatie seller. Professor Ekua Amoako and the paper he wrote his petition on cannot be likened to Nkatie paper.
Is that
It
what they're
cannot.
saying? There is an Nkati.
Oh, she said that the petitions were written on Nkatia paper or something like
They
that.
should
You
be
didn't
used
hear.
on
I heard
Nkatia.
Nkatia, so that's what you're
That's what she was
referring
saying.
to.
I'm saying that the
They
likes
should be used to sell
of the
Nkatia.
individuals who have spoken up, requesting and
Okay,
demanding
you said it should be
same.
used to sell
Don't let her
Nkati.
finish and
Hold
I'll
on.
respond. And Kweku as well,
And I'm
it's a part of the
saying-
three.
That I'm telling you that he was the first person to
But it's
write
not
a
one of the
petition
ones in
against the
contention.
removal of the Chief
Not in
Justice,
contention, sweetheart.
which your president then, our president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
His Excellency.
respectfully, he has been the president of Ghana, even if his leadership saw Ghana brought upon his knees. I'm not going to remind Dr. Ekua about the violent history of her antecedents. I'm not going to remind her of that. Because any chapter of our history that is a blot on our collective conscience should serve as a guiding light, that we don't return to the dark days of throwing bombs. We don't return to the dark days of collaborating with CIA actors to stop Ghana's forward development. That we don't return to the dark days of setting out a process of preparing a constitution. We don't return to the dark days of adversarial politics when the opposition sees nothing good at all and dictates the tone of what will today become such adversarial politics.
Okay.
We don't want to return to that. So the Chief Justice must be assured that at all times, fairness and justice will prevail.
Okay.
And that it is not His Excellency John Dramani Mahama who conducted surveys of Ghanaians who voted out the New Patriotic Party and brought in the NDC with a margin of what?
But the Chief Justice is a popularity
58%.
contest.
I am just saying that it is not His Excellency who conducted surveys of Ghanaians who believed and believe that the Chief Justice might not have conducted herself well in the administration of justice in this
many of them
country.
interface?
It is not His
The
Excellency
Chief Justice.
John Dramani Mahama who asked and requested for the Chief Justice to empanel a Supreme Court and have it done in record time, within a day. A Supreme Court panel was empaneled to determine a matter within a day, which optics were criticized by all well-meaning watchers of our
swift justice
democracy
is now a
and our
problem.
justice delivery system. When the same Supreme Court had failed to make a full determination of a matter 4 years on concerning the rights of an entire constituency. It is not His Excellency John Dramani Mahama who in those corruption perception surveys said that the judiciary was one of the most corrupt institutions.
Because you continue
It has
to
never
muddy the
been
waters.
the President, John Dramani Mahama. So it is time for the New Patriotic Party to truly listen to the pulse of the people when they speak. Because it would seem as if they're still reeling under the colossal defeat. And they're confused about what next steps to reset their own party.
President
and
Mohammed's
to redeem
legacy would be
themselves.
mad
And
that
to
he
the
was the
extent-
only
and
president
to the extent that
to
they
undertake
I never also
a judicial coup.
I never
No, I know I won't have time to
Simon says
respond.
that,
Right.
good morning,
So,
Annie. Please tell Ekua that lawyer Sami Jemfi only post and analyze what the MPP media houses on Asasi Radio posted
They
on their
serialized the petition.
website. It is interesting that
serialized it.
some ground of people had access to the petition that was sealed and sent to the Chief Justice.
Even
Ghana,
those of us
of
who were
Ghana.
at the
And it's
presidency.
an interesting Ghana.
Up
is
to-
an
So this is
interesting
Sami
thing to
Jemfi's
say.
post.
Look,
Nowhere did he say he got
listen
it from
to me.
Asasi, so I'm
Does
disputing
he
that
have
account.
to say that?
No, I'm
Does he
disputing
have
that
to say
account.
to
He
you,
posted it first.
Annie,
I'm
please, can I
disputing
just
that
wrap
account.
wrap my thought on
Oh,
what
oh,
is.
Shamima, you've
I
had a
am
lot
saying
of
that
time.
at the presidency, not even us who worked there cited the petition.
So how is it here?
So how
This is it.
did
It was
Asasi
given out
get
sealed.
access to the petition
How
to
does Sami
serialize.
Gyamfi get access?
I am saying to you that after your touch screen analyst came to also serialize and making a case for those specific provisions, and I'm happy you speak about the travel policy, because the travel policy is what your touch screen analyst spoke about.
All three
and the travel policy is what Sami Gyamfi also spoke copiously about.
Okay.
It is the same serialization that, as I say, how did they get access?
How does Sami Gyamfi get
I'm
access?
telling you, Sami Gyamfi got access from your access.
Oh, please.
From what you
Sami
published
Gyamfi did
is
not.
what we
Asase did
all
not
have
post
been
this
commenting
bit.
on.
No.
If these were
Your
the
your
grounds.
communicators
But this is the invitation.
started the attack.
You keep inviting us.
on City FM.
Yes. You keep inviting all of us.
So he has sent
to
a
make
message. He says I should
announcements.
tell you that this is my one's favorite presenter, Shamima Muslim, on Eyewitness News.
Yes.
He was
Gracie,
always sending you messages.
thank
I
you.
remember.
That is true. That is true.
One day shall
So
never end.
let me
Lucy.
just
Okay.
assure
Oh, Shamima,
the
you've
people of
spoken
Ghana
today.
that
The whole 30 minutes.
we are indeed trying
And you
to
give us more time.
change the trajectory of this country. And for those, a text message that came earlier and said that, oh, you believed in His Excellency and now you're disappointed because you opine that the president is sacking people. That is not true at all.
what about the
I
people
am
that have
saying
been
that
sacked?
if you monitor the sentiments of the grassroots, you would know that this president is very conscious about doing right by his party
sacking the
and
Chief
doing
Justice.
right by Ghana.
Ekua.
Because the party will always be a vehicle
All right.
through which you come to power.
Ekua, if I
cannot
give you
come
time
to
and you
power
speak
and turn your back on
few
your
minutes
party.
and you end.
That is why
and then I
power
give her time
centers
and you start
shift.
complaining.
You know, that is
Now
why
I'm-
power
I'll
shifts.
mind you.
And you
No,
people
but
are
she's had like 30
distracting me
minutes.
from
No.
making
Okay,
my
time is up.
appeal
What do you want
to
to
the
say?
people of Ghana. And so we will do right by the NDC as a party, by the members of the NDC who worked hard, who campaigned,
The rest
who
of
have
us should die.
sacrificed to bring this party.
Okay.
And we will do right by well-meaning Ghanaians who deserve to be in positions,
Okay.
who deserve to contribute their widow's mite to the governance of this
Okay,
country.
Shamima.
But for those who are
Shamima,
intent
because of time, let me
on
allow Ekua.
sabotaging
Okay.
this country, who are embedded, we will find them out.
Okay.
We will smoke them out and we will send them to join
Okay,
their
Ekua.
party, the elephant
Ekua.
in Bole
Time is up. I'm
Park,
giving you just about
Bole
1 minute.
National Park. That's where the elephant currently resides.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I've also received information that Sami Gyamfi went to Asempa and that's where he brought out the positions. It was after that Asase reported. And
That's
it was
a
their
lie.
communicators that started this
That's
as
a lie.
telling us what was inside the
That
position.
is
That's
a
just by the
lie.
way. I am saying that
I
if you
don't have
if
facts
you are
on that.
so I am
Your
saying this.
communicator started before he went on air.
That is what I am saying. You can leave that as that. It's not as
Okay.
as I was saying, trying to equate the matter of Charlotte Osei to the Chief Justice is very unfair to the stature and office of the judiciary. They are not the same.
She is the
Charlotte Osei was
inconsistent
not
MP.
the Chief Justice. She was not the head of one of the arms of government. So you cannot compare the two.
Because she's not human.
Saying before you start this process that we will reset the judiciary makes the entire process biased and prejudicial.
Are
That
you
is
not
very
worried?
fair. That is very all fair-minded.
That's why the demonstration.
It's very obvious what
do you
is
want to
going
achieve
on.
with the
It is
demonstration?
very we are hoping to appeal to the conscience of the
You guys
of
don't even
people.
have it.
That's what they are trying
you
to
had
do
any
is
conscience,
dangerous.
you will not
It's
be
set
doing
a
it.
very
You are appealing to
dangerous.
the conscience of who? The president of the people who are sending the petitions?
No, we are appealing to the conscience of the government. That's what they are what they had planned a long time to do, that they are executing.
Okay, so you want them
it's
to
sending us down a very dangerous
You've already
path
sent us
and
down there.
setting a very dangerous
If you
precedent
have
to
sent
the
us-
point that
You have
His
eroded trust
Excellency
in all
President
accountability
Mahama
institutions.
would only be
cannot go any further
remembered
down
as the
than you have
president that undertook a judicial coup, and I don't think that's what he wants his
Judicial
legacy to be. Yes, by removing the head of the judiciary.
As for
by
coups,
law-
you are the
What
ones
do you
who
mean by
started
I have
coups.
explained to you that by law, his exercise of discretionary power has to be without bias, without
And where is
prejudice.
the
And I've
bias?
already demonstrated to
You
you
have
by
not
your act
demonstrated
of coming
anything.
before the election to tell us
You have
that you
not-
want to reset the judiciary. This, that.
We
So
are
what
resetting
British Annan
every
sits here to
institution.
say?
The judiciary is not
What
above the
everybody
law.
sits here to say.
The judiciary judiciary makes
prejudice.
mistakes.
And so
That
it's
is
very
why there are
obvious
processes
what you are trying
right up to the
do.
Supreme Court
When
for
you then
appeal
look at the content
and
of the
review.
petition that you are pushing,
judiciary
again,
is
it
not
proves
above
that it is
reprimand.
a calculated attempt to execute a judicial coup. And we know His Excellency
the
John
coups, you
Dramani
people are
Mahama
masters
does
at
not
coups.
want to be remembered. He doesn't want this to be his legacy. So we are appealing to
Thank
him
you
through
for your advice.
our demonstrations and pressure that we are putting on him. So just do the right thing.
The NPP has a lot of time on their hands.
Let's not tamper with
What's the right
to not
thing?
They
tamper with the
have-
independence
they
of the
have-
judiciary.
and how is that?
To not
The
tamper
one that
with
you
it.
have already tampered with.
I'm telling you again that petitions have come
The
to
one
the
they
president, the
tampered
previous
with.
president.
You should
And
ignore the
destroy.
No, it's not to ignore.
You do what?
If the thing on the face of it has some merit,
The
why not let the
judiciary
cause
is
of
not
the law
very happy
prevail?
with what
But when
NPP
on
has
the
done
face
to
of
it,
it, the things
brought
are
the name
frivolous.
of the
Like
judiciary
one of
into
the
such
in one of the
disrepute.
cases, it is about a reprimand that
Desecrated
someone
the image of the
received
judiciary
in court.
by your
So you are
The
talking-
whole
very
bench
action.
was
So
there.
you're
There were
talking about-
5 justices
so you're
of the
talking about
Supreme
what you
Court
have
there,
read.
and the person
And
is,
what the Council of States have also read. You think is frivolous. So the Council of States members,
Because
they agree with
Ekua
frivolous.
is
saying
more
that
knowledgeable than
very respectfully.
members of the Council of States. She's more
respectfully.
knowledgeable than
In
them.
this case, we believe that the Council of States. No, let me
they are
just
dealing with frivolous
No, I'm
issues.
just saying they add. Let me land on what I'm saying. How is it that on one of the things, the decision is by the court? You know, when there's a Supreme Court, there's a sitting
a
of more
panel.
than one justice, and the decision that the whole panel came to, you single out one person to bring a petition against that person. Really?
The person
then
as a Chief Justice.
Yes.
Not as
no,
a
but you
panel
know that
member.
no, as a panel member, as a panel member, because if they are all
from the petitions you read.
yes,
Okay.
no, don't say from the petitions. If they are saying that one petition was not from Daniel Kwanten, one was not from Shining Star, and one was not from one
The research agenda is on
if
all
if that's
institutions
not the
of
petition,
states
they should come and tell
will
us.
be
So
reviewed
how
and
do you bring a
reset.
case against
Because
one
we
of the
have reached
justices?
an all-time
What
low
happened to the rest of
All
them?
right.
Oh, I couldn't talk
All
about my
institutions,
time.
We will be bringing
including
you
the
the